Okay, I'm going to show you how to make a twisted accordion book, which is very similar to the other book that I showed you how to make, but it just has a few extra folds and some different types of cuts. So we're going to take the paper, we're going to fold it in half. And then just use the stick to sharpen the crease. Fold it back the other way. We always want to have the creases in both directions so that the paper will be flexible at that fold. Similarly to the other book, I'm just going to follow the same process so you can be more familiar with it. Going to fold into the center. And again, back the other way. And from the other side into the center, and back the other way. So now it's in quarters in this direction. You can see the 4 spaces. Now we're going to go the opposite direction. So again, we're going to fold in this direction now and sharpen the crease. Again, we always want to fold back the other way. Sometimes that goes really easily. That gave me a little trouble, but not a problem. So now we have, this is very similar. This is the same book that you had before. What's different now we're going to fold in to the center from this direction. So you're going to fold into here. And again, sharpen that crease. Fold it back the other way. Make sure it's nice and even, and sharpen the crease. And now you're also going to fold in from the other side. So when you're done with this, this will actually give you 16 spaces instead of 8 because of these extra folds. So you can see right now we have this, and there are 16 sections. All right. Now, I'm going to use a stick to help me with a line because I don't know if you have rulers, so I'm going to just make it as simple as I can. Just going to grab my pencil. Now what I want to do, if you see the boxes, I'm going at 1, 2, 3. So starting at this third box here up near the top, I'm going to make a line that's going to come down towards the edge. You might not see it that well because of the lighting. But what I'm doing, maybe let me get a different pencil so you can see it better. See if this one's a little bit better. That one had hard lead, so yeah, this is better, soft lead. Okay. So I think you can see this line pretty clearly. So I'm just following the seam that I made when I folded, and I'm going down 1, 2, 3 boxes. I'm going to go to the other outside part and do the same thing. I'm going to come down 3 boxes. So I'm going up to here, following that line, and I'm coming down 3 boxes. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to rotate my paper. So now these lines are coming from the top. I'm going to do the same thing, come in the middle, but in the other direction. So if these are coming down, this one's going to go up. So I'm going to work my way down just because it's easier. That's why I flipped the paper. But I just want to now have this line coming the other way. So you have 2 of them going from here to here, and the other one in the middle, the opposite direction, going down. Now, if I had scissors, what I do, but I'm not sure that you do, I would cut. But because I'm not sure that you do, I'm just going to tear. So I'm just going to very, very carefully I might just sharpen that edge a little bit more. Because for the tearing, you want to really make sure those seams are nice and crisp. So just to make it easier, I think that did it. Yep. So now I can just cut down. I'm only going down right there, just to 1, 2, 3 boxes. And that's where the cut is. All right. I'm going to go to the other side, I think, just to make it so that I'm sure it's going to rip carefully. I'm going to sharpen it again. And I'm going to also do the same thing here, where I'm just going to tear along that seam and come down 3 boxes. So, whoops, all right, so if you really want to get the seam sharp, you could see that where it wasn't that sharp, it tore a little. I'm not going to really worry about it. I'm just going to try to fix it a little bit. All right. And now this other one in the middle here, that's going to go the opposite direction. So again, I just want to sharpen that crease to make it easier to tear. If you have scissors or a knife, it would be better to work with that. But because I'm not certain who has what, I'm just going to get it so that it tears so people can see. It is possible to still do this by tearing. Just got to be really careful because not always that easy to keep it tearing in the right direction. The paper that you have that you'll be working with is a little bit more sturdy than this paper, so it will probably tear more easily in the right direction. But I'm just going to sharpen that crease and see what I can do. So tear it slowly. Make sure you're grabbing it in an area close to the seam. Paper's going to get a little wrinkled from what I'm doing, but that's okay. Oops. All right, so it's a little off. That's okay, not a big deal. But the idea now, if you cut it properly, you kind of pull on it, it almost looks like a letter M or W, depending on which direction you are looking at it from. So again, these we have the cuts going up this way and down this way. Now, the way an accordion book works, you fold it one direction and then back the other way. What's different about this is twisted, so it's going to go slightly different. So I'm going to fold up and then down and then up. Now the down is going to just take a curve, so it's going to go down that way. And now up and down and up and down. Oops. Up, down, up. Down is going to go that way, and then we go just up, down, up. So when you do, if you do it properly, it'll almost look like a book this direction, but watch what happens. When I pull it, you can kind of see that things are going in a lot of different directions. If I lay it out flat, you can see more directions. So what happens with this book is it twists, and you can, look at it from different directions. It's almost like you have 4 little accordion books, but that they're attached in a strange way. So what we're going to be using them for is we're going to be using them for the elements of art and the principles of design. What I always like to do, just to make sure that I don't accidentally use the outer pages, I always make an X. So I know these 2 pages, if anything, I can glue a cover on them later, but I'm not using them. Now, I'm going to start at one end with the elements of art. So I'm just going to write that in here. Elements of art. And then I'm going to go to the exact opposite end of the book. So I have my X there. On this page here, I want my principles of design. There are just enough pages here to get the 7 of each to meet in the middle. So I like to go alphabetically. So I'm going to start with the elements, and I'm going to go first with color, then form, then line. So you notice I'm just following these pages in order. You see how it splits? I'm just going to keep going as though it was a regular book. So after I've got line, I have shape, then space, then texture, and then value. Now I'm at the middle of the book. Instead of continuing, I'm going to go all the way to the other end. So I'm just going to fold that back, getting to my principles of design. Now I want to go back the other direction. So the lower end of the alphabet is going to be here. So I'm going to start with balance. And then contrast. Then we have emphasis. Movement. Pattern. Rhythm. And unity. So the way the book works, you'll have the elements coming from one end and the principles coming from the other. What you can do then, I'm going to give you the definitions. You can put the definitions on these pages in order. And on the opposite side, you can actually make your examples. So if I were going from the other direction, I'm flipping this way. The elements backs up to an X. There's nothing there. But color is right here. On the back of that, I can do something showing something about color. The next one would be form. So this is how you'll lay out the book to get those definitions. These are really the most important things to learn in a foundations class, just in terms of the way we speak about art, and we can figure out the elements are like things you would use to put together a piece of art. And the principles are the way you would put them together. So I'm going to have you start by now making your books, making sure the pages are in that same order. And then you're going to add your definitions and then start working on the back.